how I came across Reiki and shamanic healing was almost kind of a serendipitous series of events. I was in third year university with a huge workload. I was also running my own design consulting business, and some things, and for the first time in my life I was really happy. I had been happy for a couple of years. I was out, I was feeling good about myself, and then a series of things happened that led me to feel like life was really out to get me, to really just kind of beat me up and sit in the corner and, you know, be quiet. You can't be happy. And so as a result of those events, I had a complete nervous breakdown, and I couldn't bring myself up. So it forced me to go out and get some help. A new friend came into my circle, and then first time I went to her house, and she put me on the table and treated me for an hour, was like the most amazing experience I had ever had. She first of all was, you know, an amazing Reiki practitioner, and the energy was really strong. I felt all this unconditional love move through my body. I had never felt that, and my entire body was pins and needles, and I cried for the whole time, and it was like for the first time in my life I wasn't afraid anymore. I had stopped being afraid, and so we did that a few times, you know, and then over the weeks I realized that I was really moving on, you know, like the old fears and, you know, the social anxieties and all of that stuff, and then the dark thoughts of wanting to die and all that stuff kind of started to go away. So I realized I was making progress really quickly, and that was the clincher for me. So that was when I decided I was going to become a Reiki practitioner to help others.
I've been such a big advocate for Daniel's work. I have recommended him to several friends.
He's a very spiritual, in touch kind of person, and there's a lot of frauds out there, right? There really, really are, and so he's definitely not a fraud.
One day, I was at the world's biggest bookstore, you know, just browsing the self-help section, and then this book jumped out of the shelves, and I picked it up, and it was Sandra Ingeman's Soul Retrieval book. And I opened it up randomly, and I started reading what it was saying, and I started to cry in the store because I knew what she was talking about. I knew the work. It was like I had done it before, and also it really touched me, you know, so it really resonated. So I bought the book, I read the book, and then I went on and studied with her. I took an intensive training with her, and that was the beginning of this healing path, like really offering this work for other people.
The soul retrieval made a world of difference to me because it opened up my eyes again, made me realize that there's so much more to life than just this tape loop of negative thoughts that I had going on in my head all the time. And it showed me that there was purpose, there was magic, and there was life to be lived again. And it brought me out of that into the place that I am now.
If there's anyone feeling like there's something missing, like there's not a complete balance in your life within, I would suggest to go to Daniel and have a session with him, and either a Reiki session or a soul retrieval session. I think you'd be surprised at what you would find. And honestly, Daniel is the most he's so comfortable to be around, and I trust him so much.
I think that the reason to try shamanic healing and Reiki is very simple. You know, it's energy work, and it works on a very basic energy level of your being. Okay, it's not for everybody. I mean, you have to really be. I mean, for me, you know, I know that I've worked on some people, and it's not for them. You know, so I think people have to, you know, at the very least, be out and look, you know, for something to make a difference in their lives. I know that I can, you know, make my little contribution through Reiki and Shamanic healing. But the message is, go on a search, go, and keep trying. If you haven't found what works, just keep trying.
I was facing electroshock therapy, and I was scared of it. And at the last minute, I was literally about to go on the bus to go get the therapy done. And I called my friend at the last minute. I had a feeling somewhere in me that just said, no, don't do this. My friend had done a lot of research on the internet for therapists and different types of modalities. And she found she interviewed him, and she found him to be the most competent one that she could possibly find.
I find that Danielle has a very sensitive approach. He's very intuitive to people's emotions, people's histories, and people's emotional pain, which is, I think, a true asset for any kind of healer. And so I think Danielle is a great practitioner that way.
In terms of Danielle, I would highly recommend him. Well, for me anyway, he's got a really nice calming energy. Very, just put me at peace and things like that. And he did seem to, he knew a lot without me telling him.
Danielle has this demeanor that is so comfortable and honest and peaceful. That felt very natural.
The best way to pick a practitioner is to investigate the same way you would go out and look for a physician or somebody that you can invest your trust in, a lawyer. You want to spend a little bit of time looking around and then talking with them.
Everybody's different, and so you've really got to figure out the right treatment for you. But he was able to kind of point me in the right direction as well. I think that if I really needed a Reiki treatment as opposed to a soul retrieval, then he would have been able to tell me that I need Reiki. So I think the first thing is just to make contact, and then to trust that if you arrived at this site and if you arrived at this place, then this is where you're meant to be and this is where you need to be, and then just allow the next thing to happen.
What I tell clients when they phone me is that you have to feel some kind of comfort and some kind of trust in the person. Whether you're talking to them on the phone, if there's not a flow, if there's not, it's energy work. So you want things to be aligned, So if the person, if you feel something, you think, there's something here, then that's a good way to, and of course, you want to make sure they're qualified, they have experience, and they're recommended.
So after I saw Danielle, I went to I had a therapy session with my therapist. She thinks all of this kind of stuff that I'm doing is kind of woohoo, voodoo kind of stuff. But when I told her about my experience with Danielle, she sat there and listened and was completely intrigued by what I was saying. And at the end of it, at the end of me telling her experience, she said two things. She said, one, can I have his number? And two, why didn't you ever tell me about that incident that happened to you at 12? And then my therapy sessions changed after that, because now she knew this deep issue I was dealing with, and she did some more sessions with me, and so it was a combination of things, and I feel so much better about my life.
I sit before you a living human being as a direct result of what Daniel's work has done for me. It is nothing short of miraculous what has happened.